About time with Rashan's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil, aka Mr. Philadelphia. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to every single one of y'all who has been taking out the time to watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos, and leave the comments. If you have not already subscribed to the channel and you're watching this video or any of my videos for the first time, please subscribe to Rashan's About Time Boxing. Pass the word about Rashan's About Time Boxing, and don't forget to hit that notification button to stay up on the latest with Rashan's About Time Boxing. Shout out to my guy Rebel Life TV. Rebel Life TV. Please, y'all, support his channel. He's definitely one of the channels that I rock with heavy. You know what I'm saying? So support Rebel Life Boxing. Support MZ Always Talk Boxing. Support Fanon. I like what Fanon boxing channel. I like what Fanon is doing. So please support Fanon, his channel as well. Nate's Boxing Nation, Hustler's Home, and my guy Mark Nash. Shout out to you too. Support Mark Nash, his YouTube channel, and look out for Solly Means. He's getting ready to make his pro debut in another couple weeks. So just please keep an eye out and listen out for this kid, Solly Means. Okay. All right. Yo, look, we just gonna get to this whole thing with Devin Haney and George Kambosos. Listen, at one point, and I said it before many a times, I had a lot of respect for George Kambosos, especially watching the press conference with him and Teofimo Lopez and all of the crap that he had to go through just to get to the fight, just to make the fight happen, with them leaving Bob Arum, and then they went through some stuff with Showtime, and then Triller tried to get it, the fight went to a purse bid, all that. And we know the history about that, right? But one of the things is George Kambosos, you could tell throughout that press conference with Teofimo Lopez, he despised Teofimo Lopez for being in a position that he was in. He despised him, made it clear, told him, he think he's everything. It's those belts. You think, he said, those belts are your curse. Watch, they're going to be your downfall. Those belts. Told him he was arrogant. Told him he needed to be humble. He always running his mouth and bragging about these belts and all this nonsense. But what are we seeing from George Kambosos? What are we seeing from him? Now, the real George Kambosos is coming out. The arrogance, the ignorance, the disrespect. It's all coming out now. And I said this time and time again. And now I'm certain George Kambosos has become. See, before I said, is he becoming? But now it's evidently clear that he has become everything he despised Teofimo Lopez for being. Everything. So now, in hindsight, I'm looking at now, it was just the fact he was just jealous that he wasn't in that position that Teofimo Lopez was in. And we talking about Teofimo Lopez 16-1 with 12 knockouts today. Still. Now you got George Kambosos, and like I said before, they were going to try to swing that fight to Lomachenko, and they had the deal done until the things happened in the Ukraine, and Lomachenko chose, which I respect and salute him for that. He chose to stay home. Look, nix this fight game. What my people going through is more important than that. I respect that. But George Kambosos, you never had any intentions on fighting Devin Haney. When you stood face to face with him after the Jojo Diaz fight and said, yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make the fight happen, mate. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, all right. Take care of your business here tonight, and we'll make the fight happen. That's when Devin Haney was saying like, yo, I'll go to Jupiter to fight him and all that. The whole time, you never had no intentions on fighting Devin Haney. And this is why, if those of y'all who watched the press conference kickoff, and you see how he was like, oh, you know, we're going to fight Lomachenko, a great man, an elite fighter. Now, basically trying to say that Devin Haney is not an elite fighter. But what makes you an elite fighter, George? Georgie boy, what makes you an elite fighter? Because you beat Teofimo Lopez, who was 15-0 or 16-0, 16-0 with 12 knockouts. And you was 19-0 with 10 knockouts. That made you, what makes you so, because you, listen, if Teofimo Lopez didn't, and the only thing that made people think Teo was elite was the fact that he beat Lomachenko. That's it. The biggest names on Teofimo Lopez's resume now is Lomachenko, Richard Comey, and his loss to Kambosos. And you look at Kambosos, now 20-0, 10 knockouts. Mickey Bay, who else? Mickey Bay, of course, Teofimo Lopez, and Lee Selby, who, by the way, got beat in the UK by outlaw Eric Hunter from Philadelphia, and they robbed him in that fight. So, but now you think that you're an elite fighter and Devin Haney is not? Devin Haney has the better resume. 27-0, 15 knockouts. And I know some of y'all talking about, oh, no, he don't. Oh, what you mean? Oh, Devin Haney not elite. Oh, Devin Haney is an elite fighter. And see, the difference is Devin Haney wasn't running from nobody. He didn't run from Lomachenko. Lomachenko ran from him. He didn't run from George Kambosos. Kambosos was trying to run from Devin Haney. You was trying to run, George. Yeah, you was. And just like Devin Haney said, because Kambosos kept saying, you know, and now, you know, we stepped up and we gonna fight the big fights, and you know, right here in Australia, you know, and we're gonna, you know, so Devin Haney, he's the guy we're gonna fight. We, you know, I chose him. You didn't choose Devin Haney. And if y'all watched the press conference when Devin Haney said you was forced into this fight, he was forced into the fight. And then George was talking about, oh yeah, you said you take the same deal as Loma, Now you're trying to say the deal that y'all offered Loma, Devin Haney not worth that. It's easier to make the fight that way, but you still, and he held out and tried to wait to the last minute before he even signed the contract. Because he was trying to figure out a way to get out of fighting him. The same way Teofimo Lopez was trying to get out of fighting you. Trying to fight Georgie boy. Because Teo was trying to get out of that fight. He chose to fight Kambosos for the same reason that Lomachenko chose to fight him. And they both avoided Devin Haney because they thought they were taking easier fights. And it backfired on both of them, on Lomachenko and Teo. They both made the same move. They both avoided Devin Haney to take what they thought was easier fights, and they both lost. What's the irony in that? But you're not an elite fighter. Lomachenko beat Jorge Linares, so did Devin Haney, but Devin Haney is still, Y'all can say what y'all want about Gamboa, but Gamboa was giving Terrence Crawford some work, you know what I mean, before Terrence had to make those adjustments. And the guy, Zara Abdullayev, I mean, you know, I know he don't really have no name or nothing like that, but then the fight with Jojo Diaz, he got criticized in the fight against Jojo Diaz. He got criticized in the fight against Jorge Linares. But when Jorge Linares dropped Lomachenko, nobody criticized Loma for getting dropped in that fight the way he got dropped. Nah, but you see, he got right back up, and he just... Devin Haney never went down. Yeah, he was dazed, but he never went down, and he stood his ground, and he still fought. And George Kambosos is not stronger than Jorge Linares. He's not. Is he more accurate? Yes. And I will say this, though. Accuracy brings the power. It's not about how hard you throw the punch. If you throw the punch the right way, and if you're accurate, then the results that you're looking for, you shall receive, as they say. But don't sit up here now that you have these belts, because even in the press conference, all he kept talking about was the belts. All he kept talking about was the belts. Oh yeah, got these titles. Been on the road 5 long years to get these belts. Oh, I got these belts. It's been a long road. Traveled across the world. Been here, there, everywhere. That's all he talking about. Now all he talking about is the belts. But if you that confident in the type of fighter that you are, then you shouldn't. I mean, of course, listen, there's nothing wrong with winning titles and all that kind of nonsense, but it's how you carry yourself. And you carrying yourself no different from Teofimo Lopez when he had the belts. Because Teo knew that was all he had. And those belts are all you have. The belts make you relevant. But Devin Haney didn't need a title to make him relevant. He was already relevant when he was working his way up. And it's funny how a lot of people were supporting him when he first turned pro, and then when he started fighting on TV and everybody talking about, oh man, this Haney kid. Now all of a sudden, you know what I mean, everybody just flipped on him. And now all of a sudden, George Kambosos is an elite fighter because he beat Teofimo Lopez? What would George Kambosos be if he just fought Teofimo Lopez, another person on his resume, without no belts, if they just fought, if it was a fight that they made happen? Would anybody be saying that Kambosos was elite then? No, it would have just been Teofimo Lopez that he would have beat. Or he beat Teofimo Lopez. But nobody would be saying he's elite. And it's funny how, Loma is great. And Devin is, whatever, based on George Kambosos, based on his standards, his statements. Now all of a sudden, he's an elite fighter because he has those belts. Those belts don't make you an elite fighter. Okay? They don't make you an elite fighter. Your dedication, your skill. And I'm not saying that George Kambosos is a slack fighter and all that, because he definitely stayed focused and trained hard for the fight with Teofimo Lopez. But if you look at him now, he's turned into a prima donna. And now everything is just about, these belts, these titles, these belts. And then for the people who was on my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, when I was talking about he's not undisputed, talking about if he's not undisputed, then what is he? He's a unified champion. But once again, that's another way for them to degrade and disrespect Devin Haney's accomplishments. Oh man, he ain't no, so what, man? He got the belt this way. Is it his fault? Is it Devin Haney's fault that he got the belt the way that he got it? No. He wanted to fight. That's the thing. He wanted to fight. Loma didn't. And once George got his hands on those belts, now he and even in the press conference, he talked about, with all of the fame and the fortune and, and the notoriety and all the attention, because that's all you wanted. Because you knew once you won, you got all that attention. Now it's getting to your head. I don't care what nobody say. It's gotten to George Kambosos' head. All the attention he's getting. All of the talk about him. He beat T.O. and, now he the man and all that kind of nonsense. Then him fighting with the joint like, am I undisputed or am I not? Nah. No, dude. You got a franchise title. You don't have the legitimate WBC lightweight title. That belt belongs to Devin Haney. Whether anybody want to admit it or not, that belt belongs to Devin Haney. Period. But now, all of a sudden, again, like I said, now George is an elite fighter because he beat Teofimo Lopez. But now Devin Haney is mediocre. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. Devin Haney going to win. But he's going to have to win convincingly. Because if Devin Haney fight his fight, because he can hurt George Kambosos. I'm not saying Kambosos can't hurt Devin Haney, but we seen Devin Haney be hurt. And realistically, if y'all really want to dive into it, Teofimo Lopez could have beat George Kambosos. But you know why Teo had nothing left? Was because he came out in the beginning of the fight smoking, trying to tee off on Kambosos, trying to get him out of there early. Because he started running his mouth. I'm going to knock him out in the 4th round or something like that. It's going to be, the 2nd round like I did Richard Comey and all that. He started running him out, so he came out trying to prove something, so he shot himself out. For real, for real. But if Teofimo would have been able to preserve, again, that comes with not having that experience and really not knowing how to pace yourself in a fight. Still don't have 20 professional fights. But if you think fighting Devin Haney is going to be anything like fighting Teofimo Lopez or Mickey Bay or Lee Selby, and that's no insult to those guys, because, you know, I like Mickey Bay. But it's not going to be a walk. It's not going to be a walk in the park for either guy. That I will admit. And like I said before, yes, Devin is better skill-wise. I feel like Devin is better skill-wise. But I do feel like that Kambosos is a little more accurate with his punches. But George Kambosos' defense is weak. And I know everybody's saying, oh, Devin Haney got flaws in his defense too. You take some, you give some. And everybody talking about, man, if Jojo Diaz had some power. Jorge Linares had power. He hurt Devin, but Devin never went down. That's the difference. Now, if Jorge Linares would have hit Kambosos with that same shot, I believe George would have went down. I believe it. But nonetheless, the fight is here. Against, George's, wishes. Because he didn't want to fight Devin Haney. And if it was up to him, trust me. But he wouldn't have made. And then he talking about, oh, it's going to make millions of dollars. And he's complaining. Complaining about what? First they saying he priced himself out. He never did. His father, Bill Haney, was thinking the guy name was Paul something or whatever. He was like for giving us, first class accommodations, making sure we get everything. They didn't sound like they was complaining about anything. See, but the same way I saw that fear in Teofimo Lopez, because he realized like, oh shoot, this dude ain't playing. See, he thought that George was going to be an easy go. And I could see it in George Kambosos. That's why I told everybody George was going to beat him. But now I see a different look in George. I don't see that same George Kambosos that fought Teofimo Lopez. Now, granted, I know he don't want to lose them belts because he don't want to go back to wallowing in relative obscurity. That's why. He likes that attention that he's getting. Oh, he like it. Despise Teofimo Lopez for it. So now you got to be humble. So I don't know. Y'all, what do y'all think? Just leave the comments in the comment section below. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it decent. If you disagree, that's fine. I don't have no issues with that. But let's just keep it classy. And for those that do agree, go ahead. I rock with y'all. Y'all rock with me. We rocking with each other just the same. But I think that George Kambosos is in trouble. And he knows that he's in trouble. But I want to hear from y'all. How do y'all see the fight playing out? How do y'all see the fight playing out? Now, I will say this. I do think that Devin Haney need 1 or 2 knockdowns. to win the fight convincingly, because even if he outboxed George convincingly throughout the whole fight, because he's in Australia, his hometown, it's possible they could still rob Devin Haney. But now, Kambosos' last 3 fights were by split decision. Devin Haney's last 3 or 4 was by unanimous decision, meaning everybody favored him. Yours was by split. You see what I'm saying? But let's see. Maybe they should have some American judges over there and not the Australian. But they not going to let that happen. And Devin Haney said he agreed to damn near pretty much everything that they wanted. Everything that they wanted. Just to make the fight happen. So George, stop saying you chose Devin Haney, because you didn't choose him. You were forced into this fight. And he's angry about that. That's why he started calling Devin Haney a boy and all this other nonsense. Devin said, look, I'm a man. Respect me as that. Calling him a kid and all that stuff. Like, oh, he's a kid. He said, I'm not a kid. I'm a man. But talking is talking. On fight night, we gonna see. We gonna see who the king of the lightweight division is. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please, again, subscribe to Rashan's About Time Boxing and pass the word. And again, let me know what y'all think. Devin Haney and George Kambosos, Melbourne, Australia. Who comes out on top?